Today on the podcast, we are talking NBA preview. Well, to a degree, it's not preview. The season's already started, but you know what I mean. Talking NBA today. Talking about who's good, who's bad, who's surprised, and then who's really bad. Frame My Name podcast starts right now.
Get your mind right. Get your mind right.
It's a frame of mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast. This is your boy Simbawi Nibaye Jr., aka TK, along with my man O. We call him O, who's Omar Williams. Say what's up to the peeps.
What's up, good people?
It's another lovely Wednesday, and y'all know how we do. We get things started and jump right in. But before we do, it is Affirmation Wednesday, and every Wednesday we get our affirmations in because that's what we do. We get our day going, our day started. And no matter what time of day it is or what day it is for you, it could be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, or anytime morning, noon, or night. It's affirmation that day for you as well. Those of you who are getting the replays either via video or audio. So if you're ready, get the affirmations out, whether you got them memorized or not, and let's get it popping. Today will be a good day. Today will be a great day. Today will be an amazing day. Today will be an awesome day. Today will be a phenomenal day. Today will be stress-free. Today will be a stress-less day. Today, I will overcome all barriers that want to block my progress. Today, all circumstances, issues, and situations will work in my favor. Today, all things will line up for my good. Today, I'll become better than who and what I was yesterday. I am a go-getter. I am victorious. I am triumphant. I am an overcomer. I never lose. I either win or I learn. I take authority over this day. I will dominate this day. I will conquer this day. And everything I have spoken into this day will happen as I have affirmed, because I am more than a conqueror. Let's get it started. So today we're talking NBA preview. And of course, it's not really a preview. I mean, it is, but it's not. Season's already started already. But we're only about 3 to 4 games in. I'll say 3 games in. Games are going on as we speak. And we're going to talk about the teams that are not just bad, but really bad. Just from the jump. Teams that are not just bad, they're really bad. And I'm going to start with my team. And I'm going to go in for a minute on the Los Angeles Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers. So, first of all, let me say this. Oh, I think you're on mute. First of all, let me say this. They bad. Now, it's 3 games in. I get it.
No.
3 games in. I get it.
You can't panic yet.
But, I'm not panicking.
Okay.
I will say this, though. I will say this. There is a button that's being pushed on the media. That's called a panic button. The Lakers might not be panicking, but I think to a large degree, they're probably going to panic eventually. If this season goes the way it's going now through December, there's going to be changes made, I believe. Because when you have the caliber of players you have right now on this team, LeBron James, 37 years old, still reputable superstar in this league, no doubt. AD, Westbrook, and then the role players you have around these guys. Number one, they can't shoot.
Right.
They cannot shoot. They are building the Los Angeles Clippers Stadium as we speak with the amount of bricks these guys are putting up. Okay? They are 21% from three-point land. 21% as a team. 21% from 3-point land. And there's others individually who are less than 10% from 3-point land. No names mentioned because I'm not going to blame this on one player. I'm not going to do that. The media has done enough of that. I'm not going to do that. It's not one player that's going to be blamed. Well, I will say this. There's no shooters. Okay.
Right.
The fire on this team looks like it's out already from the get-go. I'm not sure if you saw the game from Sunday where LeBron gave a pass to AD in the post. It was a nice little cut pass right to him, and AD just fumbled it out of bounds. As LeBron's getting back on defense, his facial expression was kind of like, really?
Like, come on, yeah.
And it was like, all right, this is starting to get demoralizing in game 3 of the season. And it just looks bad, man. And personally, as a fan, and when I say fan, I'm a fan. So I'm a fan of Showtime era, the rebuild era after Showtime, the Kobe and Shaq era, the Kobe and Gasol era. All right, leading up to Kobe retiring, up through what we have now, which is the LeBron era. So I'm a fan of the Lakers. I'm not a player fan. And if I'm really honest, I'm actually not even a fan of LeBron James. And that's not me hating on him. I'm just not a fan of his. But I am a Laker fan, so I'm not just hopping because the Lakers are hot. I'm a fan from the 80s up to now, okay? So I love Jeannie Buss and what she's done. I just think right now that she needs to start making, and this is me from the outside looking in, she needs to start making some executive decisions from who she's trusting to make what decisions, and then what needs to happen for the Lakers to start being reputable again. Now, don't get me wrong. They're still a billion-dollar franchise. They always are going to be because of the market that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually they will figure it out one way or the other. But the NBA now is on its way out of the LeBron era, right. And now we're moving into a different era. So it's like, okay, what era are we moving into? What do we need to do to make those changes so that we're now still remaining relevant in the era that's to come? So that's number one, Lakers. Number two, I'm sorry to do this, but it's going to have to be the 76ers. Now, I'm not going to go in on them as much as I did on the Lakers, and I'm going to let you chime in on this. This is your team.
My squad. Yeah, I got you.
But I will say that I will give the Sixers the benefit of the doubt in 2 areas. Number one, Embiid is still recovering from some of his heel injury that he had, or his heel soreness that he has. I heard this from the game the other night that he still was recovering from some of this heel soreness he has in his heels. I get that. But at the same time, when you can score 34 points, I'm just saying.
You said it, brother.
Are your heels really that much of a problem or an issue? I don't know. I'll say this too. He does look out of shape. He looks like he's sluggish. When you're not able to make a move on San Antonio Spurs centers and get to the hole, that seems to be a problem to me. The second thing I'll say with the Sixers is that they're in not a rebuild phase, but they're in this Joel Embiid and Harden phase, and I'm not really a fan of the Joel Harden phase. I think after this year, if this doesn't work out, he just needs to go.
Harden or Harden?
No, Harden, not Embiid. No, Harden.
Okay.
No, Embiid, that's his team.
Okay.
Plain and simple, that's his team. I think Harden needs to go after that. They have some nice young guys there. It's just, I think Tobias Harris needs to step up and do what he's supposed to do, what he's getting paid to do. And that's just my take on it. But, I think we put so many high expectations on the Sixers because Harden came to that team. That was not my expectations for them. I figured, especially with the rule changes, I'm like, we're going to really see the real James Harden stand up, because it's not, you can't do all that swing through with the foul. You can't drive through the hole and try and draw fouls and look for that. It's like, now you got to play actual basketball. And I'm not saying James Harden can't play basketball in the NBA. All I'm saying is that the stuff that he used to do in Houston is now not going to fly. So now we got to see who he really is now, because that's not going to happen anymore. Right now, from last season up to this one, beginning with this season, he might have hit the 20-point mark. I don't think he hit the 20-point mark yet. I think he only had 11, 12, and maybe
something like that.
8 or something like that. But last year, yeah, he had a few James Harden games from Houston. But
Oh no, you talking about how many points he's had this year?
yeah,
He
yeah,
scored
this season,
35. He scored 35 the other night.
the other night, okay.
Yeah, he
The
had a
other
game.
the other two nights, they weren't that hot.
Yeah.
So what's your take on the Sixers? And this is your team.
So my take, man, like this may sound like a hot take, and I'm not just saying it to sound like the person that always has the take that's left field.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to sports, I'm a trust your eyes guy. And I'm gonna say it, man. I think we gotta trust our eyes with Embiid. He's a great player, but his game, he makes his game like he works too hard to get a bucket sometimes because he's playing the wrong kind of game. Like he plays a small guy game, but he's 7 feet, 300 pounds.
Mm.
Now he can shoot it. He has touch. He has finesse. But he's always on the floor. His type of game, it's like it's almost easy to stop when the defenses get better, when things start buckling down, when defenses don't give you just flat out give you that shot anymore. Now you gotta like hustle back. And him being out of shape doesn't help either. Because like when he comes back from defense, he stops at that 3-point line because he's tired. He don't want to go down in the paint, right? Because I get it.
Yeah.
He don't want to go out in the paint because he'll rather just take the ball, do his little shimmy and shoot, and then just get back on defense. So that's my take on him. Great player, but my eyes say you might have saw the best of Embiid.
You know what, man? I thought that I didn't want to say it because I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt with his heel stuff. So I'm like, you know what? Maybe after this goes by, maybe we'll see another better Embiid. My only thing, like I said, he looks out of shape.
Right.
He looks like he's tired more often than not. Right. He's not running the floor as well.
Right.
Like I get it, but I mean, it's early. But these are like the early previews of what we're seeing. Like to start out 0-3 as a Sixers team, Lakers team. It's not really good.
No, man.
Doing that.
Yeah. Tobias Harris, I think you saw the best of him.
I do believe.
I think James Harden got some left in him. I even think Embiid got a lot left. It's like, not to bring it back to the Lakers, but like, I think maybe LeBron needs to change his game. Maybe not. Yeah. But again, who's going to hold the ball? I'm like, just looking at that team, who's going to be the ball? Who's going to be the ball dominant person? I don't want the ball in Westbrook's hands.
No,
AD's not a ball dominant player.
Yeah.
Who's the other two guys?
Well, they got acquired Patrick Beverly, who's a defensive guy. And other than that, you just got a bunch of role players that are just playing their role. But I mean, are they really playing their role? Or they just guys that are there that they're just kind of say, hey, we got this big three. We added Patrick Beverly. Let's just see what happens.
Right. And again, man, the league could just be turning over.
Yeah.
You figure the Sixers are kind of old. They're not that young in the sense of their starting five. Their starting five's not young.
Right.
The Lakers, their starting five's not young at all. Yeah. Right? Like, no. So it could just be a changing of the league could just be rolling over. It just and a lot of your younger teams are good.
The thing I'll say too with the Lakers, they got a brand new coach and Darvin Ham. So I mean, I'm not pushing the panic button.
Darvin Ham's the coach. Wow. Okay.
Yes. So it's his first year. He's making adjustments. And I think that he'll make the necessary adjustments as they go on. My only question is, will those adjustments be enough?
Right.
And it's not saying will it be enough for him being a coach. I think Darvin Ham can definitely coach a team and coach this team. Question is, do you have the pieces to make the necessary changes for this team to be what they need to be? That's all.
Right.
Let's go to the standings real quick because I want to give everybody kind of an idea. So as of right now, we're looking at the Celtics being at the top of the East. Okay, with the Bucks, the Hornets, Wizards, Hawks, Cavaliers. That's what we're looking at right now. And of course, we're only a few games in, 3 to 4 games in. We're looking at, and then as far as the West goes, you're looking at the Jazz being the top of the West. You got the Trailblazers, the Suns, Spurs, Grizzlies, and a few more other teams that have that same record. At the bottom of the West, you have the Lakers and the Thunder, Sacramento Kings. In the bottom of the East, you've got the Magic and the Sixers, Pistons. Again, it's early, but
It's early, but
I
still.
don't recall seeing a Lakers team being 0-3 in my lifetime. Starting out 0-3,
wow.
0-4, whatever, or 1-4, not in my lifetime. So those are just some quick observations that we have here standings wise. Let's just talk about some other teams that are not doing so well. So to me, the Lakers and the
Sixers.
Sixers were like the really bad teams as of right now. The other teams
Compared to expectations.
to the expectations.
Right.
The Nets. Now I know the Nets, the expectations are high for them
Really high.
only because
got
they have Kevin Durant
Right.
and Kyrie Irving. Now, Ben Simmons also joined this team last year going into this year. Not high on Ben Simmons as far as playing right now because we're not really sure where his head is and what's going on. And we're hoping and praying that whatever is going on with him is something he can recover from. So we're not making fun or light of that. That's not a make fun thing. If there are some mental things going on with him, we are, praying that he does get better in that area. As far as basketball is concerned, I believe that's seriously affecting his game because we haven't seen Ben Simmons be Ben Simmons since he last played as a Sixer before that last playoff series where they lost to Toronto going to the finals. And even then, it seemed like he was taking steps back because either, of course, we know he doesn't have a jump shot. He's good from about maybe 15 feet in, which if you can get those points 15 feet in, and still score 20 points, then hey, do that. Do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
But when it gets down into the crunch time and you need a basket,
He passes the ball.
you can't depend on him just to make that shot because if it's a jump shot outside of 15 feet, he's not shooting the ball.
Right.
That's not now defensively. You can count on him to be a defensive player. Right now, I think there's a whole lot of questions around what he's capable of doing based on him being out of play for so long. As far as the Nets go, I'm not really going to go in hard on them. I will say this, that I believe that Steve Nash needs to make some moves as a coach. He needs to, in my opinion, coach the team and not just be like, all right, I got Katie, I got Kyrie. You guys kind of, set the tone, do what you do, and then kind of sit back and watch things happen. One thing I realized last year about Steve Nash is that he didn't call the necessary timeouts when he was supposed to. He kind of let things just play out.
Right.
In my own opinion, I could be very, very wrong about this. It seemed very Mike D'Antoni-like. And it seemed like I felt like I was watching like Mike D'Antoni Jr. coach a team, and I was like, this ain't going to work.
This ain't it. Yeah. Right.
Because defensively, it's like there's not much there. Every now and then they play defense. It seemed like it might like a Houston team that might then, or a Phoenix team that he coached.
Right.
That defensively there's not much there, but offensively they got firepower. But the question is, can they get over the hump and do something?
Right.
And so we're still waiting. I think the jury is still out on the Nets. They're pumped and hyped up because of KD and Kyrie. That's the only reason that I believe they're hyped up. I don't think they live up to it. I don't believe they will because they don't have enough pieces around them without those guys playing on the court. It's like you're minus whatever when they're not playing on the court. That's really all the teams that I have that are really bad that have like high expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to the Celtics who are doing well despite Ime Udoka not coaching them. I didn't think that the Celtics would take a step back. It's still early to tell. But they have the nucleus of their team there.
Same team.
The camaraderie is there. There's not many changes that have been made, so I don't expect them to take a step back.
Right.
I don't expect them to get to the championship this year, but I expect them to make the playoffs and make a good run. That's just my own opinion, my own synopsis of it.
Right. They're good. I like Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. Big fan.
Yeah. I think that he's definitely. I think Tatum may push for MVP this year, I think.
Okay.
Now, he's got to remain consistent. He can't, play only half seasons at that level. He's got to play the whole season long at an MVP level. I think if he does that, he can be a serious candidate for MVP this year as NBA player. What we're going to do now, we're going to take a little break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about the teams that have surprised us that are doing well. And then we'll also bring a guest on who has now joined our team that we're going to introduce to you guys and talk about some other basketball and other sports in another city and state that's very important to our segment today. Fam Money Podcast will be back right after this. Are you looking for an apparel company that's positive, uplifting, and truly cares about you? Then look no further. Frame of Mind Inc., an apparel brand company, impresses on individuals to think positive thoughts, say positive things, and do positive deeds. Get positive apparel such as t-shirts, hoodies, and wristbands for children, teens, and adults in various colors and sizes. Customized services include logo and t-shirt design, screen printing, and embroidery for individuals, families, schools, profit, and nonprofit organizations. You can reach Frame of Mind Inc. at 302-689-3499 or visit their website at www.frameofmindinc.com. Frame of Mind Inc. Think it, speak it, achieve it.
It's a frame of mind.
Welcome back to the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast, everybody. Before we left, we're talking NBA basketball, the Lakers being as bad as they are currently, the Sixers being as bad as they are currently, the Nets, who we just believe, the hype is there because they have KD and Kyrie. Not sure where they're actually going to go too much with that. And kudos to the Boston Celtics, who are doing well. And a few more shout outs too, actually, to the Utah Jazz, to the Denver Nuggets. Jokic is still doing Jokic things over there. And also to some of our newer surprises that we're going to talk about now. Let's talk about right now the Pelicans, who now have Zion back.
Zion's back.
And my thing is this: I was like, look, I wanted to see what happens. I want to see what happens when Zion comes back, because I don't want to hype him up. I don't want to be like, oh, Zion's back. Let's just see. And I think he came back with some solid games. I don't think they're pushing them too hard. But the thing about the Pelicans I like is that they kept that team together, even with Zion being hurt. I know Lonzo Ball didn't play much last season, and he's doing some things now. So they kept that team together, and so they're looking pretty good as a team right now. Again, still early, but again, the nucleus is there. They're playing well. Got to give them their props. The Denver Nuggets, who we have seen this team coming the past 2 or 3 years, and I think right now the question is the Denver Nuggets is, can they make that push to get to the NBA Finals? Whether it's this year or next year. My question for Denver is, how many more years do you have with Jokic playing at this level, which is for him as an MVP level that he's playing at? Not only that, but also Jamal Murray. Can he stay healthy enough for them to make that run? He's a very big piece to their team, and so as long as those two players can remain playing at high levels, I think Denver has a very good chance of making a run in the playoffs to push for a championship. Without those two players playing together, there's a lot on Jokic when Murray's not playing, but then there's even more pressure on Murray if Jokic is not playing. So you have Murray, who's capable of scoring, but also he's a point guard who's also a facilitator. And so in today's game, you have point guards who can score, but when you take away that other scorer or two, that puts a lot of pressure on a point guard to put up points and get the ball to other players. It's very rare you have a Allen Iverson type point guard that can carry a team, or an Isaiah Thomas, or a Jason Kidd, or even a Stephen Curry that can do. Those are very rare point guards that you find in the league. Damian Lillard might be another one. So kudos to them. Cleveland Cavaliers. I will give them a shout out too. Acquiring Donovan Mitchell.
That was a good call.
That's a good call for them. I really thought that Donovan was going to the Knicks. I thought that was a signed, sealed, delivered deal. That didn't happen. And the funny thing is that Donovan Mitchell even said he thought he was going to the Knicks, and that didn't happen.
Right.
That would have been a great pickup for the Knicks. It would have probably put them back on the map again, because that's kind of, when New York and LA basketball is good, it's good for the league, because those are the two highest market teams in the league based on the fact that you have New York, you have LA. Those are big market cities. That didn't happen, so Cleveland got them, and Cleveland's actually playing, not actually playing, but they're playing very well to start. Again, it's early in the season, but we're just acknowledging what teams have surprised us thus far. The last team I will say, which is not a surprise, is just kind of this team is coming, and I'm not sure if they're still on their way or if just their star player has arrived, but that's the Memphis Grizzlies. And last year they played the Golden State Warriors, of course, in the Western Conference Finals. We could all sit here and say, if John Morant doesn't get hurt, does Memphis make it to the finals?
They might beat them, yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I don't think it's probable because you have a seasoned team that's kind of in their middle ages, but they're still at the peak of their game. And I think that experience would have pushed them over the edge. But I think John Morant would have made it scary to be like, are we going to beat this team? Or are we not? you know?
Right.
And so I think that gave them an advantage. I think the saying goes to say for when Golden State was playing in the championship years ago and KD got hurt. It's kind of like if KD had played the whole way through, like it'd have been a contest.
Yeah.
Whatsoever.
Yep.
So, and those are the surprise teams. Any surprise teams you have, that stand out to you?
I don't know if it's the surprise, but like I think the Hornets, man.
Oh,
the Hornets are looking decent.
Okay.
And I kind of hope they go. Like I like my man LaMelo.
LaMelo, okay.
I like LaMelo, man. So the Hornets look good to me. Who else? I can't think of any teams that I got that nobody's surprising so far with two games. So
yeah,
you know what I mean.
LaMelo's a baller, though. He's a baller.
He's a baller. Yeah, he's a baller. Like really, like it's funny. His last name's Ball, right? But
right.
But he's a baller, man. I actually root for the Hornets. I do. I really do.
Gotcha. Now, is that because of MJ, or that's just because it's
they got a young team, man. That's exciting, and I think they could do it. I just think they need a few more pieces or just a little bit more experience.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then I think they can get there, man. But again, they still got to get past these older teams again, even though they started off bad. Like I don't care what you say, you still got to go through you got to beat LeBron. He's not just going to bow out. You're going to have to beat the Sixers. You're going to have to beat the Nets.
Right.
So these young guys and these new teams that are surprising, they still gotta slay Goliath. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. Experience can definitely be a plus in the NBA.
Right.
I think for me, we're going to move on to the next part here is that I watched the Lakers and Spurs play.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Lakers and Spurs. I'm sorry. Lakers and Spurs. It was. And I saw Sixers and Spurs. And the Spurs are a very inexperienced team. They have a lot of young guys.
Mm-hmm.
And the Spurs know they're not as talented as other teams.
Right.
But they know if they can get out and run, they can run you off the court because of their speed and their youth.
Right.
If you get an experienced team that can play against it, that knows how to pace the game and knows how to win, yeah, I mean, you're going to run up against some problems. But for the Spurs, the team that's coached by Greg Popovich, you can't count that team out. I mean, Popovich, after winning all those championships with Duncan and Parker and Ginobili and those guys, he still made the playoffs after that. That goes to show how great of a coach he is. And I was talking to someone earlier today, and we were talking about how is Greg Popovich considered the greatest coach in the NBA ever outside of Phil Jackson? And is Phil Jackson considered that because of what he accomplished with Jordan and Kobe? Or if you flip-flop it and put Phil Jackson in Popovich's situation and Pop in Jackson's situation, like, does Phil Jackson still do what he does?
I don't think so.
That's the question. I
don't think so. But it's two different types of skill sets, man. I think it's hard. As easier as people want to make it, like with Phil Jackson saying he had all these stars.
Yeah,
it's hard to manage those stars, man.
It is.
That's a skill set in itself. But then on Pop's side, it's hard to make guys that are, they're not mediocre. That would be saying something. Like all of them aren't mediocre, but he creates a team.
Yeah.
Where every piece counts and every piece matters. You know what I mean? Even down to
everybody buys in. Everybody buys in.
Everybody. So that's another skill set. So Me personally, I'm a Pop guy.
Got you.
I think a lot of people can coach Shaq and Kobe. I mean,
Right.
I don't even,
Right.
I know they say,
now,
yeah,
now Shaq and Kobe, that could be a Steve Nash thing. He's like, hey, look, you guys can do what you do, and then I'll just kind of pull strings here and there. You know,
Yeah,
you're gonna get 30 out of both of them.
Right.
Everybody else just be ready if when they pass you the ball.
Right.
That's
Now
it.
he did implement the triangle there, so he
did.
put that into the system. So I don't want to knock it, but I think you can take any. I think Doc Rivers could coach them and win a championship. You know.
Okay.
But I'm not a big fan of Doc, so
gotcha. Last question: you think Doc goes after this year if things go bad?
I think so.
Okay, we gonna leave that right.
And the rumors that like they call it what's the guy's name? Point. He was a shooter. Sixers, played for Duke. He got a podcast now.
JJ Redick.
JJ Redick said like they call it like Club Rivers or something. Like he doesn't make these guys practice hard. They don't have to, they don't. Yeah, it's like he says like a resort feeling. That's now you wonder why Joel's not in shape.
Ooh,
I'm not.
Right,
I don't know.
We'll have to come back to that one. That sounds like
they say Doc. They say Doc's like Doc runs his league or his years like it's just it's willy nilly, man. They say he's not that tough on him.
Gotcha.
And
I know what. There might be a reason for that. We'll actually save that topic for a different day. I'm not going to put it out there now, but there may be a reason for that, and I may have a bit of an answer to why he might be coaching that way.
Okay.
Anyway, we're going to take this last segment. We're going to actually bring on a guest today. It's a female, guys, a female, and she is actually behind the scenes now on the Fair Money podcast. She's doing the producing and putting all the stuff up, so she's helping us out. But we're going to bring her on because we're kind of introducing you guys to her. She's going to be a part of the podcast behind the scenes and actually on screen with us or on the microphones for some podcasts to come. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Fair Money podcast, none other than Denise Obi. What's up, Denise?
Hello, guys. Some good conversations going on. I'm good.
Yes. So before we started the podcast, we were just kind of going over some notes what we're going to talk about and just whatever, and O asked her like where she was from, and she's like, hey, I'm from New York. She's talking about how the Yankees lost and got swept. He's like, all right, so you're from New York. He's like, yeah, but I like the Eagles, this, that, and the other. He's like, well, how long you been living in the area? He was like, so about 20 years. She's like, so you're not a Phillies fan? She's like, no, not a Phillies fan. So
no,
the Phillies aren't in the World Series. The Yankees are not, but whatever. We're not going to go there. Okay. So Denise, you are from New York.
Yes.
We're gonna switch gears a little bit. So we're going to talk about we got the Knicks who are actually playing decent basketball right now, early in the season. So it's now. Are you a Knicks fan or you say you're a Knicks fan, Sixers fan?
Neither actually. For basketball, I just watch a team.
Oh,
so
okay.
Whoever's winning, I like LeBron.
Whatever team is winning, okay.
Yeah, whichever team is winning, I'm cheering for them. That's only for basketball, though. It's only for basketball.
Right now, LeBron's not winning, so you can't cheer for him.
Yeah, so I can't cheer for him. Yes.
So you might want to pick like John Morant or something like that. That's somebody you can.
Or the Golden State Warriors.
But also, I wanted to point out about Ben Simmons. He actually just broke it off with his fiance. And how I know this is his fiance is a popular DJ in Europe, and I follow her. They actually just broke up not too long ago. So that's probably why his season has not been the hottest.
Oh, you got inside information.
Yeah. So that's the insight right there on the podcast for you guys.
You shot him some bell.
Yeah, frame of mind.
So listen, ESPN, Fox, you heard it first right here. Don't try and act like you heard first. We had it first.
Right, first.
Give us our props.
Yes.
Give us our props. So we got Denise here, and the not the nickname, but the name you have been known by is D Nice, right?
Yes,
D Nice.
Yes.
So when we introduce her to the show, when she's on with us, we're gonna say, hey, we've got Denise Obi, aka D Nice.
D Nice. There you go.
So let's talk about a little football because we're talking about New York now, right?
Yes.
Yankees we can't talk about now. They're not playing, so we can't talk about them. All right.
Yeah.
But the New York Giants and the New York Jets. Now, I know they play in New Jersey, East Rutherford. It's not considered New York. We get all that.
Right.
But the Giants and the Jets haven't been that good in the past, I don't know, however many seasons we can talk about. The Giants post Tom Coughlin, Eli Manning. The
Right.
Jets, I don't know, since Boomer Esiason, I can't even remember when they've been that good. I mean, they actually, let's say maybe 5-6 years ago, they did make the playoffs. They actually beat the Bengals actually in the playoff game
Yeah. True.
a few years ago. How are you at football as far as the Jets and the Giants are?
I'm honestly gonna give it to the Jets this season. I think they've been the underdog for a little too long now. The Giants, they've kind of had their shine, and I think since Eli Manning, I haven't really seen too much. I've seen some wins here and there, but I haven't seen too much hope for them. So I'm taking the Jets on this one. They're really earning their spot and their keep. And I was a big Mark Sanchez fan, so that's why I'm kind of like.
Now here's my question. I
Okay.
have to ask a question. You were a Mark Sanchez fan because
Oh, he's a good-looking guy. That's
that's
why.
what I was going.
That's why, some of the guys, that's how it has to be sometimes. Some of the
Kept it
guys are
100.
good.
I'm like, it's got to be because of his looks. Because
Yeah.
after Rex Ryan, Mark Sanchez's career was like, what?
He came here.
Yeah.
He came here.
He did come to Philly.
Yep.
He did.
Yeah.
So okay. So I can agree with you on the Jets. I think the Jets are on the up and coming. They have a lot of new guys that I feel are hungry to prove themselves.
Yes.
And they're doing it this season. Now, the running back did get hurt last game, and I believe he's out for the rest of the season.
Yes.
Now that's a blow to them. But I did see that they actually acquired a running back from I believe it was Carolina.
Carolina, I believe.
That they acquired. I don't even know if they even traded for him or not. I don't even know. I just saw that there was a trade that was done. They got the running back from Carolina. It didn't say that the Jets gave anything up. So I'm like, unless it was picks, I don't know. But I believe, but with him being out, that's a blow to them. But they still have a good team that's looking good. The quarterback looks great. They're playing with confidence. They got those nice new green jerseys and helmets that they're playing with. So they're looking good, playing good. Deion says, you look good, you play good.
They're good.
So the Giants, I don't know, man. I just think that
Y'all don't believe him?
No.
You don't believe him?
I don't, man. I don't.
You don't believe the Jets?
I think that there's too much on Saquon Barkley to produce, and I don't think he can handle the load. Not saying he can't play, but the load might be a little too much for him. I believe
he needs another heavyweight with him.
Yeah.
To balance out the load.
Yeah. Now, one more thing I'm going to say, and then we'll kind of jump back to basketball before we end here. The Syracuse Orange, the college team, are actually playing very well this year. They played against Clemson this past weekend. Almost won the game. They actually were up 21-10 at one point, and then things just kind of started going south. And I'm like, well, welcome to the SEC. You know what I mean? And technically, it wasn't really the fact that it was that. It's just one mistake led to another, and they just couldn't recover. And you could tell they were demoralized because it was like everything. And they were at Clemson, and they were spanking them. And all of a sudden, like one mistake led to the other, and it was like, nah, they're gonna lose this game, and they did. They lost because it just kind of spiraled out of control. But New York right now, as a state, sports wise,
looking
pretty good, with the exception of the Yankees. They're looking pretty good. So
good.
Big shout out to New York.
Yes.
Be nice where she's from. We wanted to bring her on and get her little take, not her little take, but her take on the sports world, because she's into sports. She's a sports woman, but she's also intelligent. She has a good profession she works in, and she's now joining our team to help us out. So you guys will see more of her going in 2023, whether behind the scenes or on screen. We will definitely see her in the month of May when we have our Women's Entrepreneurial Series. She'll be all over that. So Stay tuned for that. Mark that on your calendars. And back to just basketball real quick. Last thing before we go. What are your predictions of who goes to the finals? Not necessarily who wins, but who goes. And this is our NBA preview. Our picks may change later on and see when we come back to this. But right now, who do you see may go to the finals out of the East, out of the West?
That's hard right now. But I think you got to beat the champs. So I think it might be the Golden State Warriors again.
Okay.
For the West Coast, and I think the East Coast is going to be one of them younger teams. I'm not sure who yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure who yet though. I'm not quite sure. I'll say I don't think the Hornets are ready. The Grizzlies are West Coast, right?
Grizzlies are
West.
Yeah.
Oh, let me get my. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hold on.
Grizzlies are
Grizzlies are West Coast, right?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I'll say the Celtics. I'll say Warriors Celtics finals.
Okay, so we're going
Even
back
though
to
you gotta
back.
beat the butt. Like I'm a firm believer in you gotta take out the guy. So
yeah,
you gotta take Giannis. You got to get him out the way, and I don't think he's not ready to go.
I would say my pick is the Bucks right now.
Okay,
because now that Giannis has been there and won, he's hungry for another one.
He won another one. Yeah,
he understands. First of all, Giannis understands old school basketball.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. Number two, Giannis understands that it's a team game, not about him.
Mm-hmm.
Number three, Giannis understands that championships define legacy.
Yep.
And so I think he's going to be hungry for another one this year. And that's an early pick for me. Out of the West, it's hard to say, man. I'm like picking Golden State is the easiest
thing to do. I know.
It is, but
I know Ja Morant. I'll say Memphis.
And my only reason I don't say Memphis is because I'm not sure Memphis is ready yet. And that's just my own opinion. I think that Ja Morant is the engine that makes them go. Without him, they don't get very far. I think without him last year, they don't go as far as they went. But I don't know if they have it to beat the Golden State Warriors yet. Time will tell. It was a great series last year. I'm going to pick Golden State right now because I don't see anybody else beating them right now.
Hey,
I would say Golden State Bucks right now. My pick could change later down the road when we get 70% of the way into the league. And we're looking at, after All-Star break, going to that last leg of the season. So that's what I'm going to say right now. So
there you go.
I can definitely say the Lakers are not going to the finals. And I'll be honest, it's possible Lakers might even make the playoffs this year. It's very possible. It's very possible. Unless something gets broken up and changed.
They might do something at the trade deadline.
And I hope that what they do is something that's going to make the team better and not just trying to. Because I keep seeing all these reports, the Lakers are going after this guy, after this guy, after this guy. It looks like desperation stuff, but again, maybe they're making good, positive, strides to get better play. What they're trying to do is get shooters because they realize the team can't shoot.
Right.
So they got to try and get shooters to complement because right now, the team they have now is not going to the playoffs. You can't shoot, you can't make the playoffs. Just plain and simple.
It's just
guys are missing wide open.
Yeah.
Nobody within 10 feet of you, 3-point shots. They're missing them. Plain and simple. So enough of that. We're done for today. NBA basketball preview. My man O, TK, and D Nice joining us for the first time. You guys catch the podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Music as well. The replays video-wise, you can catch them on my Facebook page at tk.billionaire. Also on my LinkedIn page, just look up Simbawi Nibaye Jr. And on our business YouTube channel, Frame of Mind Inc. channel. And for all of you who are joining us today, thank you for joining us. We are going twice a month now rather than once a week. We're going twice a month. So join us again next time for another great podcast. We'll be getting back to some more of our leadership and entrepreneurial and mindset podcasts leading up into the new year. Thanksgiving and Christmas, we're going to do another special this year as well. So stay tuned for that. I might have some other special guests for Thanksgiving and Christmas this year, so be on the lookout for that. It might not just be my family; it might be some other people coming on. So stay tuned for that. Continue to think it, speak it, and achieve it. And until next time, I holla. Thank you for joining the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast. And as always, here at Frame of Mind Inc., think positive thoughts, say positive things, and do positive deeds. As our tagline says, think it, speak it, achieve it. See you next time.
It's a frame of mind. It's what you say and what you do.
Don't forget to check us out on the web at www.frameofmindinc.com, where you can browse our online apparel store, listen to some of our original music and production services, as well as view our videos and projects we've done for our clients and customers.